All right. The Shocker Center course, and this is Trump in the global economy, and we're asking people to subscribe to the channel, like and share the videos. Today we're going to discuss Gilbert Arenas hates Charles Barkley, and as you know, the NBA playoffs are upon us, and narratives are being shaped. The Los Angeles Lakers and the Phoenix Suns were bounced early last week. The Lakers were bounced in 5 games by the defending champs, Denver Nuggets, and the Suns were bounced in 4 games. They got swept by the Minnesota Timberwolves. And, you know, some people in the media and social media suggested that Darvin Ham and Frank Vogel, coach of the Suns, should be fired. And Charles Barkley took exception to it, which he should have. He said that, you know, these guys did a great job. Darvin Ham did a great job preparing the Lakers, and whoever put those teams together, the GM should be fired. And the players suck. They just aren't as good. The Lakers just aren't as good as the Nuggets, and the Phoenix Suns just aren't as good as the Timberwolves. And Skip Bayless was one of the people he went at. I believe Skip Bayless was calling for Darvin Ham's head, and Skip Bayless is totally irrelevant now. Nobody even pays the guy any mind. These armchair antics, these armchair analysis, we're just saying things for ratings. And Darvin Ham eventually got fired. I put up a show about Barkley, how he cooked Skip Bayless, and apparently the show got Gilbert Arenas' dander up because he also exhibited, after watching our show, he exhibited hate for Charles Barkley. And I'm going to try to share my screen.
Too, and Miami in there too. Just
Those
like
3 teams.
Yeah, they play this every time.
And OKC starting to be like that. They've always been a farm system where they can bring those players in and bring them, develop them up.
Good.
But that used to be San Antonio.
Yeah, so you go into the notebook. What are your thoughts on what Barkley had to say?
I don't like him.
You think he's talking about you?
No, I
I don't think so.
because I used to be a fan, right? I'm still a fan. I just don't like how he talks about whose fault it is, because when he was playing, he didn't take no responsibility for what was going on with him.
Yeah.
Right? When he went to the finals against Michael Jordan, or the Western Conference, or the championship and lost, what did they do the next year? What did they do the year after that? Whose fault was it when they went 41-41 and he needed to leave to go try to win a championship? He wasn't good enough then?
With Houston?
Yeah. And then when he got to Houston, teams that won championship, who was out of shape? Who was out of shape that couldn't be healthy for the team they put so much money into you. They put so much money into you to come over there to help them win, but you was out of shape. Not from, me, it's from the players who played with you said you was out of shape. Putting blame on them, right? Where was the responsibility then? Right? I hate when, you get to a certain stage and you start throwing shots when you were a problem yourself when you played, right? And
Okay, so that's Gilbert's take, and everybody has an opinion. And Gilbert has his own show now, and it's really just a gossip show. He's using celebrity as a former player to tell stories about what went on in the locker room amongst players, which should stay in the locker room. And just gossiping and telling what had happened and what he done seen or heard as a player. He had one episode where he talked about Halle Berry, and Halle Berry was involved with certain industry executives to get parts. Why do we need to hear about that? That has nothing to do with basketball. It's a lowbrow way of getting ratings. It's just gossip and telling what had happened and what you done seen or heard. Had nothing to do with basketball. And Charles Barkley's putting out basketball analysis. I guess they have a Socratic oath sort of thing on TNT. If you go on the major networks, you have to do analysis and you have to give people insight, not just gossip. And Arenas, as a player, I mean, I know he was injured. He was a great player when he was healthy. When he had it going, he was as good as any guard in the league. But he also did some knucklehead stuff, like bringing guns into the locker room. So it just seems like Gilbert wants to be friends with the players. He's not going to say things that going to upset certain players. And he's going to seem like he kind of co-signs knucklehead behavior at times, in my opinion. But a few things about what he said. I'm older than Gilbert Arenas, so I grew up watching Charles Barkley. Let's be clear. Barkley, when he was with Auburn, he was throwing Melvin Turpin and Sam Bowie shot back in their faces and made them eat it. Charles Barkley and Chuck Person and Chris Morris, they ran through the SEC like croton oil. Back when the SEC was, college basketball was dominant, and the SEC was, pretty dominant with Kentucky. And Barkley would have been the best player in the league, in the country if he'd come back for his senior year. He left early. Auburn would have won the national championship. They were a problem in college. He was a problem in the NBA. Barkley is one of those guys who brought it 82 games a year, and he gave the fans their money's worth. And he talks about what did Barkley do with the 76ers. Going to my sophomore year, at the end of my freshman year in college, I remember vividly, Lynn Byers died. Okay, it was 1986 to the 85-86 season. And going to that's in 1986, it would have been Lynn Byers' rookie year and Brad Daugherty's rookie year. The 76ers had the first pick. Everybody knew they were going to choose either Brad Daugherty or Lynn Byers. They chose Brad Daugherty, and the Celtics chose Lynn Byers. The 76ers, the number one pick, 7'1" guy out of University of North Carolina, so you know the pedigree. They would have had Charles Barkley, Brad Daugherty, and Moses Malone, who still had something left in the tank. And they would have given Moses Malone new life, because he already had, had already been to the 3 finals and won 1 championship. He put the Houston Rockets on his back when he was young. He came out of high school straight to the pros, first person to do that. Petersburg, Virginia, near where I grew up. Make a long story short, we talk about front lines. We talk about Robert Parrish, Larry Bird, and Kevin McHale, the top front line in NBA history. Barkley, Daugherty, Malone would arrive with that front line. They would have won at least 2 championships. That's being kind. At minimum, 2 championships. Barkley would have had 2 championships. Daugherty would have had 2 championships, and Malone would have had 3 chips after going to the finals 5 years. And they would have solidified themselves as some of the greatest players in NBA history. I think the general manager named Pat Williams or something, he traded Brad Daugherty away to the Cleveland Cavaliers for like Danny Vrains and Roy Henson and a bag of chips. I was like apoplectic. Like, what is this guy doing? Danny Vrains and Roy Henson? And they didn't do much after they got to the 76ers. Pat Williams destroyed Barkley's legacy, destroyed his career. And Barkley alluded to it a couple of days ago. That's what some of the younger guys don't understand, that Barkley can't go out there and go at, the top power forwards in the league and then fight management too. This one in the NBA was a murderer's row. You had the Celtics. You had the Lakers. You had the Detroit Pistons who were on the come up. You had Portland Trailblazers who weren't bad. They were on the come up. You had the Dallas Mavericks, who were a great team with Ron Harper, Rolando Blackman, Mark Aguirre. They just couldn't get past the Lakers. There were a lot of great players in the NBA who couldn't get past the Lakers or the Celtics or the 76ers at one point. They were the top 3 teams in the league. And then Dr. J had just retired, I think, by the time Brad Daugherty got into the league. But nobody was winning too many championships during Bird's heyday or during Magic's heyday or definitely during Jordan's heyday. So when you say what did Barkley do, that's what Barkley did. Barkley had to fight the top power forwards in the league. He had to go at Karl Malone and the bad boys in Detroit and Anthony Mason, Xavier McDaniel in New York. He had to go at Robert Parrish and McHale and Bird, James Worthy and these guys. He had to go at Dominique Wilkins and these guys, Cliff Levingston, with the Hawks. And he also had to fight management, who were making dumb decisions. That was the worst trade in NBA history. And I think Pat Williams would attest to that. He ended up being, I think he became the general manager for the Orlando Magic, where he, drafted Penny Hardaway and Shaq. But that's what Barkley's legacy is. He would have won at least 2 chips, maybe 3 or 4, minimum of 2, with that front line. The other thing is that, again, Barkley didn't win against Jordan. When he was with Houston, the Chicago Bulls were the best team in the NBA. He wasn't going to win with Houston. He wasn't going to win with Phoenix Suns. period. But Barkley cares about the league. He has every right to criticize the players when it's necessary. He's genuine and he's candid. And he stood up for the coaches, which he should have. There's no reason for Darvin Ham to get fired. Everything that would have happened, they could have had Red Holzman coach that team, or Phil Jackson coach that team. And everything that happened with the Lakers still would have happened. As far as the Lakers are concerned, when they won that championship in the bubble, they had Dwight Howard, who was another big body, along with Anthony Davis, which allowed Anthony Davis to play power forward for most of the game. They let Dwight Howard go. The Lakers are always making decisions and making moves. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. And that's it. That was the Lakers' best chance to win a championship. Letting Dwight Howard go, the big body who can give you 20, 25 minutes a game, give you 8 to 10 rebounds, 8 to 10 points. They don't call in plays for the guy and play big boy defense in the paint and control the paint and go at Jokic, and ultimately go at Big Cat with the Minnesota Timberwolves or Gobert. And then let Anthony play power forward. Anthony Davis play power forward, which is his natural position for 20 to 25 minutes a game. But like they said, hit dog gonna holler. And apparently, I thought Barkley, when he talked about some of these social media guys and people in the media who are cowards and want to be friends with the players, I thought he was definitely talking about Skip Bayless. But apparently, he was also talking about Gilbert Arenas, because they got Gilbert Arenas as dander up. A hit dog can holler, and Gilbert got hit. And his take on Barkley is totally delusional, and it's not based on fact. He's just cherry picking facts and making these taking a kernel of truth and trying to make that the story. And that's why Charles Barkley, when it comes to basketball, is the best analyst in the game right now. And that's why when you want to watch Gilbert Arenas, you go for gossip and stories about who's dating who and who slept with whom, and maybe who brought guns into the locker room. But that's Gilbert Arenas hates Charles Barkley. Thank you for listening. Thank you.